Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video we are talking about Fear Street Prom Night. So this is the fourth installment in the Fear Street films that are available to watch on Netflix. If you don't know what they are, I'm sure most of you do, but they are based off of R.L. Stine books by the same title. If you don't recognize that name, he did Goosebumps, but he has a Fear Street series as well. I have not read those, so just keep that in mind going into this. This, like I said, is the fourth one. The first three came out quite a while ago, and they were all kind of paired together as a trilogy. They went through a time frame of years. I believe it's like 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. Fear Street Prom Night takes place, I believe, in the same town in the 80s. It follows the story of young girl Lori, who's kind of an outcast. Her family is believed to be cursed. Really, the town is believed to be cursed, but her family in particular, people believe that her mom murdered her dad on their prom night, obviously many years ago. And so because of that, she's been just dubbed this outcast, but she decides to run for prom queen to kind of want to change things. She wants to change things at the school and in the town and with her family in general. She hopes that maybe by winning prom queen, that'll change the way people view her family. Very teenager thinking. I went into this film trying to have hope for it, not keeping my hopes too high, just because unfortunately I've only really seen a handful of people talk about this film, and a lot of it hasn't been very good. If you go on Letterboxd, like I often do before I sit down to film a review, or at least when I'm done watching something, it's got like a 1.7, which for the Fear Street series is very, very low. The first original three were very popular. I mean, when those came out, everybody was talking about it. Horror fans were just delighted. The first three were so good, and I feel like maybe a lot of people had really high hopes for this one. It was very exciting. There wasn't, I feel like, as much advertisement for this film. Maybe they didn't really push this one as much, which maybe is also kind of a good thing, because unfortunately I do kind of have to agree with people on this one. I really found it boring. It really didn't bring much to the franchise or to horror in general. It's really just another teen horror film that doesn't give us really much. I mean, Laurie's a great character. There are a lot of great characters in this. I definitely left, obsessed with the soundtrack. Has, of course, a phenomenal 80s soundtrack. The outfits, was obsessed with all of that. I mean, for anybody that knows me, one of my other film obsessions is films from the 80s. So phenomenal outfits, phenomenal soundtrack, but really the storyline wasn't giving us much. And I am going to probably get into some spoilers just because the film has been out for a little bit now, so forewarning if you haven't sat down to see it yet. But and that was it. Well, and that was like another thing with this film. I didn't even realize whether or not it was out yet, which was like another thing. Again, the first three films were talked about so much when they came out that I was not even sure if this one was out yet. I literally just ended up looking to see if it was out. That's how little I feel like this film has been talked about, and I do understand that, because I really am finding it hard to have much to talk about in this review. Like I said, it's pretty much just like your straightforward standard prom film, slasher film. I mean, which if that's what you enjoy, obviously I love a slasher film, but introduced in the beginning of the film, of course, to Laurie, who is narrating throughout the film, and then we meet our other prom queen characters. One character, Christy, who's this rebel of the town. She's like local drug dealer, which is interesting given that obviously played by a woman. That character's usually often played by a male role. She is actually voted to be the town favorite for prom queen, which is obviously an interesting take, because then you have like the actual real popular girl, Tiffany, and her group of friends who are all also nominated, and it's kind of a, will it be Tiffany or will it be Christy? And then of course Christy is killed off, and then one by one the rest of the nominated prom queens are killed off, and it's very much like a whodunit style film, which it can be very entertaining, and some of the kills were good. We do have some blood and guts throughout the film. It is a film that is, oddly enough, rated R, and with that I felt like they could have done more, especially it's rated R, it's streaming on Netflix. I feel like they could have given us more, and we do see characters die, and like I said, we do get some blood and guts, literally, but I feel like they could have given us more, and they didn't. I don't know really why, if they were trying to keep it more like viewer friendly, but I mean, it's a horror film. They could have done more with that rating, I feel like. But I will say the reveal of our killers was actually pretty surprising to me. I had suspected there is a principal, and then this woman who's not really a principal, but she's brought into the school to try to kind of revamp the image of the school, and in turn trying to revamp the image of the town, because like I said, it's believed that it's cursed. I kind of expected maybe them to be the killers, which I think is something that they do kind of maybe try to lean into, with killing off our, you know, prom queens who are, you know, kind of naughty, misbehaving. I expected that to be the reveal, but in turn it is revealed that it is Tiffany's parents, who are killing off all of these characters to try and make sure that she wins prom queen, which is kind of crazy because she's, especially after Chrissy dies, she's pretty much like destined to win. I mean, Lori does get inevitably kind of like pushed more up the pole as far as prom queens, but it just was kind of a boring reveal and a boring premise. I mean, there is more that is continued to be revealed later on in the film, which I won't give that spoiler away, but that twist, which again, I didn't really see coming. It was an interesting twist if you have seen the film, but not enough to really save this film. I just have to agree, you know, with the majority when it comes to this film, that it really didn't bring anything new to the series, and it was just not really worth the wait. I mean, I think that, again, like I said at the beginning of this review, that this was a beloved trilogy that we had set up, and, you know, obviously we're anticipating this fourth film, and it really just kind of disappointed, and that is just really very unfortunate, especially because it being prom queen, I think that there was a lot more they could have done with it. I mean, the fact that there's really no even references to Carrie in this film, at one point I was kind of waiting for it. There is a scene where all the prom queens are lined up, or all the nominees are lined up, and they're supposed to be up there to like give a speech, and the popular girls like take over by doing this like weird dance number. But I was expecting them to do like a Carrie moment with Lori, like, you know, maybe some fake blood on her, something like that. I was just waiting for some sort of kind of like references to that. But yeah, that was just kind of like disappointing, and all over the film just kind of was. So yeah, not necessarily one that I think is worth checking out, to be honest. I mean, if you want to fulfill and have seen all 4 Fear Streets, then have at it, but just not necessarily worth the time for this one, which is really sad. I did say, however, my Letterboxd review, I just said there's no way you're gonna convince me that Tiffany was not obsessed with Lori, that was about like the gayest thing about this film, which again, like if you've watched the original Fear Streets, very heavily like queer coded, like lesbian characters, bisexual characters. The one character that they kind of imply just by like the way that she dresses and things is Laurie's best friend, but we don't get anything from her, which again, disappointing. So yeah, that was about like Tiffany was, in my opinion, Tiffany was definitely obsessed with Laurie for sure, but which would have been, I guess, like a cool motive. But anyway, let me know if you have seen this film and what your thoughts were on it in the comments below. If you did enjoy it, tell me why. Maybe you can, you know, convince me otherwise. But I hope that you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button for spooky and horror related content. And I will see you all again later with another video. Bye.